Indian Ocean, which remained quiet for some time after the Cold War, has re-emerged as a critical theatre for strategic competition. With China expanding its presence in the Indian Ocean, India has formulated a new maritime approach to retain its prominence in the region. Andaman and Nicobar Islands are strategically located near the Malacca Strait and has the potential of being a key base for projection of power in the Indian Ocean.
It is a theatre of strategic contestation. If you look at the sort of geopolitical games that are being played in the Indo-Pacific region, most of these games today are being actually played in the Indian Ocean region.
Hello everyone. India is planning to spend approximately 75,000 crores to develop a transshipment port in Andaman and Nicobar Island. Let us try to understand in detail about this project and how this initiative would help to 1. Address maritime trade and logistics challenges. 2. Boost India's economy. 3. Counter China's Belt and Road Initiative. India today is facing maritime challenges due to two reasons. 1. Poor infrastructure at ports. 2. And lack of deep drafts. Depth at berths and channel is a concern for India. While the drafts at major international ports ranges between 12 to 20 meters, at most of the Indian ports it ranges between 8 to 12 meters. Now an obvious question would be, what is a draft and why is lack of deep drafts such a challenge? Simply put, draft of a vessel is nothing but the distance between the ship's keel and waterline of the vessel. While often to make profit, operators attempt to maximize loads, the weight of the vessel increases, its drafts also increases to support the increasing load. Beyond a point, a vessel would sit extremely low in the water and would be more susceptible to floods. To avoid such disasters, it becomes extremely essential to measure the draft of a vessel. This would ensure a balance between the maximum load that can be stored and the point at which the vessel is no longer stable. Severe restrictions are imposed on the size of vessels at ports as they are in relatively shallow waters. As a result, smaller vessels with cargo intake anywhere between 25,000 to 75,000 have to be deployed at such ports in place of larger vessels with capacity as high as 180,000 tons. Moving container in one large vessel is cheaper than moving it in multiple smaller ships. This is where, ladies and gentlemen, transshipment is required. Transshipment, simply put, is offloading cargo from one ship and loading it onto another vessel to be carried to the final port of discharge. In this process, goods can cover a large part of distance between the origin and destination ports on large vessel. The current situation is such that almost 25% of all containers originating from India are transshipped through foreign ports. A huge 80% of this is handled by Colombo, Singapore and Klang. All of these are foreign ports. India loses about 1,500 crore of potential revenue each year on transshipment. The loss is way higher if the opportunity to handle cargo emerging from other countries is considered. The cost of handling the cargo loading and unloading at the hub gets added to the transshipped cargo. A 2019 report states that industry estimates put the burden of transshipping through ports such as Colombo for Indian shippers is $200 to $250 per container unit on an average. In India's case, this is paid to foreign ports. If transshipment hubs are built in India, much of this amount will go to Indian ports and result in job creation. Also, with increasing Chinese influence through billions of dollars of investments in port infrastructure such as Colombo as a part of Belt and Road Initiative, dependence on foreign ports is a potential national security threat for India. This gives us an opportunity to not only reduce burden of transshipment costs and, seizing the opportunity, make profits, but also reduce dependency on foreign ports and counter Belt and Road Initiative of China. In addition to all these benefits, the islands straddle the east-west sea route, which is one of the busiest maritime trade routes in the world, located almost equidistant from existing transshipment hubs of Colombo, Klang, and Singapore. Some of the fastest-growing economies such as Vietnam, Indonesia, Myanmar, and Bangladesh are served by east-west route. It also sits strategically near the mouth of Malacca Strait, which links the Indian and Pacific Oceans. Around 100,000 vessels forming about 1/4 of the world's traded goods pass through this narrow stretch of water every year. This port would be able to compete for the 70% transshipped cargo with Singapore port for goods originating and destined for nearby countries such as Bangladesh and Myanmar. That's all for today. Hope you love this knowledge-packed video. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to make the YouTube genie happy.